You install an antivirus program, turn on a firewall, or open an incognito window, and your brain registers a distinct feeling of safety. Once that digital door clicks shut, you assume the threats are locked outside. Security engineering centers on a principle called no silent failure. It asks a single difficult question. If a defense is bypassed right now, would anyone in the building actually know? Standard tools frequently create these silent gaps. When an organization relies on a third-party vendor for system access, a breach at that partner's office can bypass internal firewalls and allow attackers to operate for months without ever tripping a visible alarm. Believing you are perfectly safe simply because you purchased a software solution does not eliminate the risk. It actually turns you into an unsuspecting target for exploitation. When these invisible breaches finally surface at the enterprise level, the damage scales rapidly. Months of undetected access translate into severe operational consequences. This chart shows the financial impact of those delayed reactions. Today, the average cost of a data breach in the US sits at $10.22 million. Organizations lacking the visibility to react quickly absorb exponentially higher losses than those that respond immediately. The initial financial hit is followed by cascading operational damages. Systems shut down, forcing emergency workarounds, while leadership spends weeks distracted by crisis management instead of running the business. The resulting reputational and financial drain will always outweigh the upfront cost of deliberately preparing your team to handle an incident. On a consumer level, this false confidence often starts in the browser. Millions of people open an incognito or a private window, assuming it acts as a cloak of anonymity. Incognito is a local housekeeping tool. It deletes your local history and cache. That's it. Meanwhile, your outbound data remains completely visible to your IS key and network administrators. And the moment you log into an account, the destination server knows exactly who you are. Relying on a local history clearing feature to protect your privacy across the wider internet leaves your data completely exposed to anyone monitoring the connection. This misunderstanding of tools scales up to enterprise environments. A persistent belief exists that keeping operational technology systems disconnected from the internet or placing them behind a basic firewall guarantees their safety. This map details the global reality. Even highly specialized industrial control networks have been repeatedly targeted by sophisticated cyber attacks across multiple countries and sectors. The physical isolation of a network is easily bypassed by regular human intervention. An external contractor connecting an unauthorized laptop for routine maintenance, or an engineer plugging in a USB drive to update a system, opens a direct path past the traditional perimeter. Modern industrial systems require vast amounts of data collection to function efficiently. Because that data has to be transmitted and analyzed, the concept of a truly isolated and perfectly safe industrial system is a dangerous artifact of the past. In corporate boardrooms, this search for an impenetrable shield has shifted to new crutches, assuming that buying the latest artificial intelligence software or completing a rigorous compliance checklist equals foolproof security. AI is a powerful pattern recognition engine, but it is almost entirely dependent on the data it receives. It requires time to establish what normal traffic looks like in your specific environment, and it can easily misinterpret or miss entirely novel threats it hasn't encountered before. At the exact same time, cybercriminals are actively experimenting with their own AI tools to silently probe and bypass those exact enterprise defenses. A static AI monitoring tool will inevitably be outmaneuvered by an evolving, automated attack. Checklists and automated algorithms are foundational building blocks. Without continuous human oversight, expert tuning, and active validation of the alerts they generate, they offer little actual defense. Securing a network requires recognizing that cybersecurity is a human and psychological challenge. It requires active leadership rather than delegating the issue entirely to an IT department. When a digital crisis hits, the first questions asked by the board aren't about software settings or new firewall configurations. Leaders have to answer immediate operational and legal questions. Can we keep running? Who do we have to tell? And what are we legally required to disclose? Because technology alone cannot answer those questions or adapt to pressure, an organization's true vulnerability lies in its untested assumptions and a lack of leadership readiness. This diagram demonstrates a practical alternative. a strategy known as defense in depth. Instead of relying on a single perimeter, it builds multiple active layers. Implementing this involves continuous monitoring of internal traffic, utilizing virtual private networks to encrypt data, and physically segmenting the network. It also means reframing tools like cyber insurance. A policy is a necessary financial safety net for when things go wrong, not a substitute for a preventative security plan. Overcoming cyber risk requires trading false confidence for deliberate choices. Leaders need to stop asking what new software they can buy and start testing how fast their teams can actually detect and respond to an active threat.